James Webb Space Telescope team unveiled the mission's first quality images of Jupiter's rings and moons. Webb was designed to look deep into the universe's past and study the first stars and galaxies to ever form. Astronomers now plan to use it to investigate phenomena that they previously couldn't.
Right now on Denver 7 News at 8 a.m., Tube to Work is back in Boulder, and the action is gearing up. We're live as commutes switch their cars for the creek.
It's time for the big switch here on I-70. I'm traffic expert Jason Luber with what you need to know about the closure this weekend and what's happening this weekend as well.
And we'll get to Jason and Colette in just a few, but first we're taking a live look outside from Denver 7 studios. A bright and sunny and finally Friday, but some people could see some storms.
Both today and tomorrow, yeah, we'll see very summer-like conditions where storms develop in the afternoon, but it's 70s and sunshine right now. A really pretty start to our Friday morning. Winds are out of the west at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. It's calm. It's going to heat up. We're going to be in the upper 80s by noon and then low to mid 90s for highs. So Denver's going to be right around 92 to about 95 today. Greeley 96, triple-digit heat from Pueblo and then east toward La Junta and Lamar, well into the 100s there, and then 70s and 80s for the mountains. Pretty warm statewide for us today. We do have some flash flood concerns, though, near the burn scars. We're going to see a few slower moving storm cells, and it looks like some pockets of heavier rain. So we'll take a closer look at that today, and then I'll show you just how much hotter it's going to get by Sunday. Right now, though, we're going to send it out live to Jason Luber, has been live there on I-70 in the new portion of the tunnel here all morning long.
Yeah. It's already hot enough, Lisa. I'm already starting to perspire just ever so little, and it's not good. It's really beaming here off the highway, and this pavement is also a little bit warm. Right now I am standing on the eastbound side of I-70. This is where we're going to be driving come Monday morning, and the highway is going to be closed down, just the eastbound side, not westbound, this weekend, starting tonight at 10 all the way until 5 o'clock on Monday. As you take a look at the overall drive, you're seeing some heavier traffic in some of those usual spots, including going down to the Denver Tech Center on I-25 there at University. The traffic going away from us is that slower traffic heading for Colorado Boulevard. You can see on the overall drive times around town, the heaviest stuff is not only be here on I-70, but also there across 270 and I-76 up on that north side of town. But that south side of town is getting a bit busier with all that bright sunshine that we're having to deal with here this morning. That is going to be a bit of an issue. And you know, there's all kinds of cool stuff happening right here at this tunnel. It's not just about the wider lanes and the nice pretty asphalt that we're seeing. There's actually a lot of technology in the tunnel that we've been talking about all week long. And one of them is actually the speakers, and they're hanging up there on the top of the tunnel right now. It's hard to see, but there's a speaker for every 100-foot zone, and they would be used if there's an emergency inside the tunnel. So the drivers could be told to stay in their vehicles, letting them know that help is on the way, or they could be asked to get out of their car and then evacuate the tunnel. So far, the warnings, though, have been coming out of the speakers to the people walking inside the tunnel.
Interestingly enough, what we're using those systems for, mostly during this 1-year transitory period, has been telling people not to walk. Don't be a pedestrian in the tunnel. It is not safe. And so we actually use that public address system to tell folks that it's not safe and they need to get out.
Yeah, that's project manager Bob Hayes. When we were talking about this pedestrian problem, they see a pedestrian a week go strolling through the tunnel. They also have people trying to ride their bike through the tunnel. Again, not safe, especially on that side where they had two-way configuration. And there's just not enough space. There's really not enough space down here either. And you have plenty of space up above on the beautiful covered area to ride your bike or to walk through here. You don't need to do it here on the highway. Coming up in just about a half an hour, we're going to be talking about some of the other features that you're going to see when you're driving on this eastbound side, the wider lanes, the shoulders, all that coming up in just a bit.
Thank you, Jason. It is the news that so many people have been waiting to hear. RTD actually here, sorry. If you take mass transit, you know that RTD is operating at about 70% of its pre-pandemic service level. The transit agency is struggling to hire and retain drivers and mechanics. The bright side to this, though, is that it's actually saving the agency some money. RTD's senior manager of debt and investments says it saved $127 million in operating costs in 2021. With fewer employees and other cost-cutting measures, RTD is still looking to cut down billions of dollars in debt that it took out to pay for the Fast Tracks rail system, which is not yet completely built out. Are starting to finally come down in Colorado. The state average is $4.81, but you may find even lower prices depending on where you go to fill up. Here's Denver 7's Veronica Acosta in Broomfield.
Gas stations like the one where we are this morning on 120th and Sheridan, they're seeing a little bit lower prices on gas this morning. Take a look at here at $4.37 a gallon. That's down nearly 40 cents. And get this, just the past 24 hours. Those of you near Longmont, maybe even Firestone, even better news for you. There's some gas stations in that area where you could get a gallon for under $4. And gas prices aren't only coming down here at home, it's really happening all across the country. For the past 30 days, we've seen the average price fall. We're nearly 45 cents a gallon lower than we were at the peak price here in the U.S. This is a pretty dramatic downward streak in gas prices. Experts say they believe we could eventually surpass the 67-day decline that we saw back in 2020. That was when we were at the height of the pandemic. We could be under $4 a gallon nationally in about a month or so. Now, a spokesman for AAA says Colorado will follow, but maybe it's going to take a little bit more time.
We are the road trip sort of capital of America. When you look at the great American West, folks are coming to and through Colorado. That keeps demand high. Our stockpiles were a little bit low heading into the summer driving season. So that's going to keep us above the national average. Mind you, we will fall as the national average falls. We just might fall more slowly.
If you are really dedicated to finding the lowest gas, then you can always Google or use Gas Buddy to find those stations. You can also always become a loyalty member at some of these spots. That'll decrease how much you're paying per gallon, at least a couple of cents. And if you want to go a step further, there are different apps like one that's called Upside. It gives you cash back if you fill up at certain spots. In Broomfield, I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Veronica, thank you. Well, as you might be able to skip the bike and the bus altogether today, how about a tube for your commute?
Yeah, Denver 7's Colette Bordelon is along Boulder Creek. The crowd is getting ready to head down that creek right now and hopefully tube safely to work this morning, Colette.
Yeah, sorry if I looked a little bit distracted. I was watching this tube toss right over here. Unfortunately, not a successful throw, but I'm really rooting for everyone out here. This is a party. It doesn't matter that it's 8 in the morning. I had to steal one of the people who's been dancing. I'm sorry to interrupt, Kat. You've been dancing in a wetsuit.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Hot and sweaty. Hot and sweaty.
You're gonna cool
I'm
down,
excited
though.
to get in the water.
And why do you have paddles? Can I know?
They help you navigate the treacherous rapids.
So you can steer with them in a way?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, they're a little bit helpful.
And how many times have you done this?
About 5 or 6 years pre-COVID, and this is my first time after COVID.
What is it like to be back in person with this kind of a celebration along the creek?
Feels wonderful. It's the best part of Boulder right here.
It's so Boulder. I've heard so many people say it's their favorite day of the entire year, which is so amazing. You've brought your kids to this. What is it like to share it with the ones that you're closest
They're
to?
so excited. To have like quirky stuff like this just makes the city so much fun. So they've loved it. They're going to come back next year. We're going to make sure that that happens. So
You're about to get in. When are you going to get in? I mean, we're starting soon.
And yeah, Jeff's going to do a little speech. He has a speech he prepares, and he does the same one every year. It's about tubing to work. It's awesome.
I'm so excited. We're going to listen to that speech because I need to know what's in that speech. And I'm going to let you go so you can listen closely because I know this is what we've all been waiting for. We will be out here. Check back in with us in around 20 minutes. We'll have people going down the tube. Thank you so much, Kat.
My pleasure.
Live in Boulder. And Lisa, wait. Actually, I want to talk to Lisa really quick because Lisa, this feels like an event that you would be at if you weren't at work. And I'm kind of shocked I haven't ran into you out here.
I know, you're right. That is right up my alley. And you know what I would wear, Colette? I would wear a tube top.
What would you wear? So clever. I love the pun.
Take a look at your tubing forecast. Man, the outfits are there just getting better and better. We're going to be in the 70s here in Boulder during the 9 o'clock hour. 80s by about 10. Boulder's going to hit highs in the low 90s this afternoon. It'll be a pretty warm one. Low to mid 90s for most of northern and northeastern Colorado. Triple-digit heat to the southeast. We're going to be, you guys, near 100 here in town on Sunday. I'll show you just how hot it's going to get and how close we're going to get to the record high coming up.
All right, coming up, updated plans for a Denver neighborhood's redevelopment, how the Park Hill community is responding.